So, I completed the campaign in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Let's talk about that. Good, mythical, I'm kidding, I'm Waterfields1. This is of course my thoughts on the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign. I finished it and bluntly, I loved it. I actually really enjoyed it, and I will say if you are a Star Wars fan, you will also enjoy this campaign. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you'll find it very average, and that should really be this entire review, because it is a very average first-person, third-person shooter, but as a Star Wars fan, it engrosses you in the universe, which is why I loved it. Simple as that. First thing we'll talk about is the graphics. Of course, the graphics are outstanding. I see a lot of reviews actually attacking the game on this basis, but for me, I love the fact the grass moves when you walk through it. I love the fact that the trees sway. I love the explosions. I love the sparks. I love the lightsabers. I loved how the game looked and presented itself, and it gets a big thumbs up for me. Gameplay, the gameplay's pretty good. It's tight. The controls work well. Obviously, it transfers across from multiplayer to the single player perfectly, and it does well in that instance. It is certainly not revolutionizing the first-person, third-person genre, but it does what it does well. Now, the actual gameplay, yes, it is shooting fish in a barrel. It is a shooting gallery. You go to one area, there'll be a load of enemies, you shoot them, you move on to the next area. There was no, as I said, it wasn't revolutionizing the genre. There weren't any massive action set pieces that really did take me away. There's a few good ones, but nothing monumental is what I will say. So I guess in that aspect, kind of disappointing. But again, for me, Star Wars fan, what did happen was good enough to satisfy me. And I think that's the important part. I enjoyed it. The story is probably the most significant point of discussion because it's okay. I mean, I can appreciate that the Star Wars universe is one of the most protected franchises in the world, so they're never going to have a massively incredible, significant story that's going to have any effect on the existing universe. It just slots quite nicely into what already exists, and as opposed to it blowing your mind with some shock revelation, it's just one of those you play it and afterwards you go, oh, yeah, that just makes sense. That just makes sense because this and this and this happen in the films. That's the reaction you have on the campaign. Now, the heroes do make appearances throughout the campaign. You do get to play as several of them. I believe it's Luke, Han, Lando, and right at the end you actually get to play as Kylo Ren, which is pretty awesome, I have to say. But I'd say they kind of, some of them felt right, some of them felt very much shoehorned in. Like the developers went, oh Christ, we need to put another hero section in here so that players can play as Lando Calrissian, for instance, as opposed to this has to happen because it makes sense to the story. They just kind of shoehorned a few extra characters here and there, which again, as a Star Wars fan, I actually really enjoyed and liked the fact that I got to play as multiple heroes. But from a story perspective, it was very much shoehorned in. Now, the story overall, as I say, it fits nicely into the universe. It's not, again, it's not going to blow your mind, is what I'll say. So don't go into this thinking, oh my god, this is going to be the best story ever. It just makes sense to a Star Wars fan. I think actually if you're a non-Star Wars fan, you'd find the story quite disappointing because a lot of it wouldn't make sense and it wouldn't, I guess the impact for most of the story arcs is the fact that you can relate them to the films as opposed to just what actually happens. And I know I'm talking gibberish at this point, but bluntly, this is almost like a puzzle piece into the films. It just gives you a few answers and it explains a few missing sections from the films, but nothing significant. Nothing significant there at all. As I said, overall, I enjoyed the story as a Star Wars fan, but I think in terms of comparing it to other story modes in games, it's below average. So to conclude, we got good graphics, we got decent gameplay, controls, okay, shooting fish in the barrel isn't the most original of ideas, but it works reasonably well. The story is great for Star Wars fans, very poor for non-Star Wars fans, so it's not going to bring in new people to love Star Wars is what I've been trying to say in that instance. But overall, it gets a thumbs up from me. I enjoyed it. Now, it's easy to attack lots and lots of aspects of it. However, for me, just take it as it is. Like, just take it as it is and enjoy it, play through it. I started off thinking this is really bad, and again, I have to be honest there, I think I may have sent a WhatsApp message to a group saying Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign is the most average experience I've ever had in my life. That was probably the first hour and a half. When I got beyond that, I actually really kicked into it, really enjoyed it. I think it's the moment I played as Luke Skywalker, which really made me think, actually, I'm really enjoying this at this stage. So for me, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign gets a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on it if you have played it or if you plan on picking it up. One thing I will say is certainly do not buy this game just for the single player campaign, because again, you will be disappointed. If that's your only purpose of buying the game is to play the single player, then it's not worth the money they're charging for. Absolutely no chance is it worth buying the full retail game just for that campaign experience. However, if you want the multiplayer as well, it's great and I fully recommend it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to this channel, because we are marching on to that 1,000 subscriber goal. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your gaming. I'm Waterfields1. See you later. Oh yeah, I give it 7.5 out of 10. That'll do.